What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Rage Top 5, Bottom 5, so to speak. And today we are covering Transformers alt modes. We also have a show that's weekly and free on your favorite podcast platform of choice called Nerd Rage Radio, where you can find us all the time, speaking for 2 to 3 hours, arguing about nonsense, cursing, carrying on, sometimes getting drunk, and
sometimes we go to Waffle House with a Englishman.
That's also something that does occasionally happen.
Meet his aunt or something weird like that.
But I have Uncle Dolphin. I have Chris Pinkerton.
If you're nasty.
This is actually his topic, so I'm going to go ahead and let him go first. Chris Pinkerton, what's your number 5 for top 5 Transformers alt modes?
I'm going to go with Perceptor. I always loved that he turned into a microscope.
Really?
You know, there's really two facets to the G1 Transformers. You had like the playability stuff, and then you had the vehicles, right?
The Diaclone and Microman, if you will.
Almost. It was almost like two great things that go great together, right? Yeah. So I always loved Perceptor. I mean, even as a kid, I didn't understand the whole where it came from thing. Why has he got this little compartment?
Right.
So I was kind of fascinated by it.
And it was trash trying to look through it. You'd be like, what the?
Oh, yeah.
Did it work?
It had it didn't work properly, but
can
it
you
had.
See through it?
It had like a little magnifying lens.
But it was like but it was super fisheye, so it was actually hard to kind of use in any way, shape, or form.
Do any of the third-party ones actually work? Has anyone done any actual lab work?
Didn't Fans Toys make two different? Is the Fans Toys that made two separate?
Fans Toys made two
separate ones, right?
Yeah,
not just a.
KFC's made two separate ones too. To be fair, they did a Chug one, and then they did a Masterpiece one.
Shout out to my Chug thugs.
Almost as popular as Prime. There's 2%.
Let's not go crazy. As a kid, I always enjoyed the kind of day-to-day items more than the cars and stuff, with few exceptions. My number 5 is Space Shuttle.
Yes.
To me, it's the audacity. You know what I mean? Like you can't take him anywhere. You know what I mean? Like he's got because on Earth, obviously they're all big, so they're all outside of like structures and walking around in like open spaces. If it's not like a cave or something, so like a space shuttle is like it's just the same as a semi truck, right? But you got to imagine that like the things are relatively similar to where they come from on Cybertron.
Yeah.
So like this dude might just be in your house and like transform into space, wreck all your. You know what I mean? Like
your house might be inside him,
yeah.
And you don't know.
And then just like assume everybody wants to go on you for you know what I mean? There's just so much audacity to it.
Like, and you're not hiding from nobody. Why is there a space shuttle in Frederick?
And it's also like a bit of a flex. Like, yeah, all this is hiding up under here somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm just a regular sized dude, and then I turn into a space shuttle as big as this house. What about you, Joe? Number 5.
I also put microscope.
Did you really?
Yes, I put microscope because it's perceptive, but also the fact that
you guys are nerds.
It doesn't look like a microscope. It's not disguising nothing.
Yeah.
If you saw a bunch of microscope around and Perceptor, is like that's something wrong with that guy.
Right.
It's true.
But also he transforms. He doesn't transform with a small telescope sometimes, right? He's like a full size robot microscope that's like looking at.
In
the show,
he doesn't.
Right.
Well, I don't.
He's a laser cannon. Does he shoot lasers out of his?
Probably.
I don't think so. Not in the show anyway.
Well, all you got to do is reverse the lens, and it becomes a focused laser. See.
But yeah, I always thought it was cool. He's a scientist, bro.
Number 4.
So number 4 for me is Sharkticon.
Oh, that is a good one. It's actually somewhat surprising that it took them so long to do a shark. You know what I mean?
Proper shark.
You mean?
Yeah, I mean, either or. A shark-like thing. Like, sharks are cool. They're boys like sharks. You know what I mean? And, like, that's what they did with a lot of this stuff was, like, you know what I mean? Like, what do young boys like? Like, oh, yeah, trucks and whatever.
Exactly.
So, like, it's just surprising that, like, it took them, 2.5 years to throw a shark into the mix. It seems like a no-brainer.
You'd think so.
My number 4 is a tape deck.
Which is Sound Blaster?
Yeah, or Soundwave, like either one. But like the thing is, it's just like it's so simple, and it's so smart. Like it's kind of it's that Wolverine thing, right? Where like your weapons are always instantly accessible. Like his chest is always there. The tapes are always instantly accessible,
which is weird. Those guys just live inside him all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
They just hang out in him.
Like you can just launch them whenever. It's just like, and they turn to tapes, and tapes go to tape. It's just like it's all so bloody smart, Like
it is,
and like I think that the reason why Soundwave and the tapes are popular is because they were part of season 1, and that idea is smart. I don't think it really has as much to do with the characters themselves. Like I think that idea is just like it's intoxicating.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Number 4.
Number 4 is headmasters in general. They just turn into heads. If you think about the part, it's like a headmaster. Yes, you got the car, whatever it is that makes the body, but really what it is, the brain of the thing, the transformer itself, it just turns into a head.
It just sucks
It's
if
wild.
like
It doesn't do anything.
You remember when they like
have no
had their
body.
like transformation cogs or something like were messed up and they couldn't transform?
Yes. Yeah, one
like
way
if
or
you
the
just
other.
transformed to a head, you're like
you just
you're
head,
just stuck
right?
there
Just
like
laying
that
there.
one Kanye album cover. That would suck. But that's another like gimmicky thing that's cool. Like you can hold your own head, so to speak, and like, put it on your shoulders. Like it's like
Didn't they swap heads sometimes too? So to
probably
speak?
the toys definitely could, but it's just visually interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
And it works because we're just gushy brains that control a robot
Yeah.
flesh mech suit. So
And they get to like pilot often like the
Yes,
whole concept.
I mean, they are because the body is just a vehicle, really.
The whole concept is clever. We got to do top 5 worst alt modes. So we'll do that next.
what do you think?
This
Three
I mean,
months,
the most
people.
interesting to me.
3 months. Number 3, I'm going to say Jazz, G1 Jazz, just because that Porsche was
Oh, the Porsche.
so
That
freaking
Porsche.
cool. And I just have a lot of cool memories of playing with that as a kid. I didn't have a lot of the cars as a kid, the big cars, well, that size. But that one's just, and it's such a cool character too.
That was also a tricky one to transform. Like,
Yeah, you had to
it
do
was
that.
it was the way the chest and the arms folded up.
Yeah,
like,
it actually had one more like accordion in there than you'd get normally with that
Yeah.
style of Transformers.
yeah,
That was my
agreed.
favorite.
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was a super cool character. My number 3 is base mode.
In general, okay.
In general, and like the reason why is because it's two things. Like for one, they're all kind of abstract looking, so they all kind of equally work and don't work. So it's like even if it's trash, it's probably just as good as the best one.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
he lays down and unfolds.
Yeah,
so there's
and like
not a lot to it.
The
But
best one is like just as good as the worst one, and like it always kind of looks interesting when you have like the big ones that do it, so to speak, like the Trypticons, the Metroplexes, like, and it gives like the ability to kind of customize it a bit to your liking and kind of create your own visual thing. And with the smaller bots, it looks cool, and it's like a bonus thing. This is what's clever about it. It's a mode, but it's really just a bonus configuration of a toy that turns into something else. And they're like, oh yeah, but just tuck his head away and put his arms up like this and put his legs out like a infant, and now he's like, now it's a base mode, and like as stupid kids are like, yeah, sweet,
Base
even though the
mode.
figure behind it is like this big, and the base mode would be like this in some cases.
It's not just a stupid kids that, well, not me personally, but I know grown adults in the 40s who turn things into base modes
yeah.
that aren't necessarily meant to be base modes.
Agreed. Or I love a fan base mode.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, dude, if you don't pack that bull up and get it out of here on the first flight, what do you have for number 3?
Number 3, City Bots. So same thing.
Yeah.
we
You
do
talk about
not
the
discuss this
audacity
before.
of it's got everything we talk about. Audacity of being something huge.
Yeah.
It wants everybody inside of you, right? And not really hiding anywhere. This city just popped up from nowhere. People are gonna know.
Did they
Because
have-
it's not a robot in disguise anymore at this point.
Yeah.
Because like the disguise part is very important.
Yeah, and it's like, and I love that like it doesn't, like obviously like there's Cybertronian cities, right? Like Metroplex is a Cybertronian city, Trypticon's a Cybertronian city, but so here it's like just this bizarre like thing.
Bizarre space
It's
in the middle of nowhere.
It couldn't be further. Like it's definitely less than meets the eye. You know what I mean? It's exactly what meets the eye.
Yep.
It's like city formers, exactly what meets the eye.
So in the 86 movie, when Ultra Magnus says we have to transform Autobot City, does Autobot City have like a drinking problem or something? So you're having to
Keeps doing it
help
on its own.
or is its cog been taken out?
Yeah.
Somebody
It
out
was
there
like that
knows
in
the
the
answers
game
to this.
too, which I
Yeah.
loved. War for Cybertron, you had to
Yeah.
get him to turn into a robot.
It was like
Yeah.
hook-
That was-
he just
that was
like
a cool
a city
thing.
all the time. Yeah, it was quite good.
Number 2.
Number 2 for me, and I'm torn from 1 and 2, so we're just going to shoot our shot here. The F-15 Seekers, Starscream,
Wicked looking, especially
Yeah.
of its time.
Yeah, and that jet is just so menacing as it is.
Yeah.
it's a weapon of war, quite legitimately. The F-15. So even the G1, the model of the jet is fantastic. Even like the Chug stuff today. What's up, my Chug thugs? That's my favorite part about that mold is how clean the jets look.
And there's something else about like the wings on the back. It's like not quite a cape. It's not quite wings. It's like this other thing.
Accoutrement.
It's cool. And it's very 80s Top Gun-ish, like that
Exactly,
era. Like
yeah.
it all kind of works.
And then the paint schemes, for
Yeah.
Skywarp Thundercracker.
They always
To
work.
make sure that's also does not in disguise.
Right.
To make sure it stands
Yeah,
out.
I was like, we want you to be purple, and you to be blue, and you to be a whole bunch of colors that nobody's ever seen before together, but they look good.
Starscream's the closest, but none of them are really passable.
No.
So my number 2 is not the most exciting, the tractor trailer. Okay. And I think it's because as a kid, and this is going to tie in with my number 1 also, but as a kid, it's like I played with Matchbox cars and everything else, and like, you know, the trucks and specifically the 18-wheelers from Matchbox were like, I don't know, they didn't feel like they had the gravitas of a truck that you felt like on the road when one was going past you or whatever.
It's because they were the same scale. They were 1/64th to the car, so it was probably like one. Yeah, it was
exactly.
Much smaller.
So like having that as a kid, like I think I played. That's one of the few as a kid that I played with in alt mode as much as I played with in robot mode. Just because it just plays the idea of like, what do young boys like? Young boys like trucks. Okay, we'll make him one of the key players. He turns into a truck. You get, you know, double bang for your buck. And you know, I think it's also that like that cab over style is like so hard to come by now that like it's like this constant reminder of it. It's like in some ways it's never left, and yet they're not here anymore.
No, they're not.
You know, I think that's cool. Number 2.
Omega Supreme. It's just him. Nobody else has. That's a base mode.
Yeah, it's a base mode and a spaceship. It's both.
It's
and a train.
Think about what
and
it
a
is.
train.
No,
Don't
it is
forget.
a building. It is a building
and a tank
and a shuttle and just a track that goes in a circle.
Yeah.
For no reason. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just a circle.
Security.
And and a tank. Like, it's a lot of different parts. Like, which, I guess the head, the tank part is him, because that's his head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all parts forming. And this shuttle, they launch it and it just goes off somewhere and it just loses an arm?
Yeah. I think that happened.
Yeah, right. That's like
in the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happened to a lot of kids too.
And also, again, not disguised.
No.
You know, like they're always showing like clips of like the extended fight in Autobot City and all this stuff that they like remove. Imagine like somebody like a Minosaur or a Bruticus like coming through, right? Kicks the tank like as far as it will go. You know what I mean? Like takes the rocket ship and breaks it in half, throws those pieces to the side and just keeps on moving, and it's just this like body with no arms, no chest, no head, just like you know, falls and collapses. That would be awesome.
Wow.
I think
it's a bad. It's a part. That's why parts forward don't work.
Sorry.
Number 1 for me is the Dinobots.
The real Dinobots, those guys that turn into robot dinosaurs, or
specifically
Megatron that turns into a purple dinosaur,
No,
like
see.
Barney.
No. You know where my heart lies, and it's with those beefy boys right there. So yeah, the G1 aesthetic Dinobots. I don't know. I just love them.
And I'll tell you, like, they're my number 1 as well. And it's because like not unlike the Jet, right? Like a very 80s thing was dinosaurs, and there was always the same 5, right? Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus, Triceratops, Pterodactyl, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like it was like the 5 toys that came in every pack of dinosaurs, and then they did Dinobots based on those same 5 toys, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
They did their research. They knew.
You know what I mean? And it was just like, it's just so perfect.
It's brilliant.
And as a young kid, it's like you get both. You get dinosaurs that you love to play with. You get robots that you love to play with. You get the transforming thing between both. And it's like, I don't know, it's a unique experience. Another one of those where I played with alt mode and robot mode equally.
I mean, because robots are cool, and like dinosaurs, you play with dinosaurs.
Classic.
But like to the designer of I don't know who designed them personally, but like they're brilliant. Like if you think about it, the color scheme, we just have chrome gold, chrome silver, some red, some gray, and random clear parts all over the place.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible, but look at them. Look at them.
Yeah, they look great.
They're fantastic.
Because they're not like, I don't know. It's weird when I look at them objectively. I'm like, this is not supposed to work.
Yeah.
The color is like a block of red and a block of gray. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But best things ever.
That's it.
What about number 1 for you, Joe?
Number 1 for me are planets.
The audacity?
The audacity.
The audacity.
I know 2 of them. We got Primus and we got Unicron, right? There's 2 of them.
So far.
Yeah. Yep.
That's you can't beat that.
Yeah, it doesn't get more.
You have city bots on you, and in the city bots are tape deck bots, and inside the tape deck box are tapes.
It doesn't get more narcissistic than that.
It doesn't. I have my own gravity. Everything revolves around me.
And the fact that Orson Welles was fat when they made him do it.
Oh, God.
You know, like so terrible. So anyway, as a reminder, we do this show. If you like this and want to listen to more, we do this show on a weekly basis. You can find it wherever your podcasts are found. It's called Nerd Rage Radio. If you like the uncut of this, it's available on Patreon. Joe, where can they find you at?
Right here on Nerd Rage Radio / Bobby Skullface channel.
Chris Pinkerton, where can they find you?
Crashbox Customs all across the fruited plain. Hey, for Christmas, I want Santa and his reindeer to drag my logo across the screen.
I thought,
and then Joe's gonna,
I thought for Christmas you were going to let me just have it on the screen.
Oh, no, for me, though.
Okay,
for me.
Fair enough. And with that,
Slappy lips.
Tasty toenails.
Tight traps player.
Yikes.
It's always hard to remember that one.
Yeah, because I want to say traps because it sounds cooler than toenails.